Jake Morrison stood in front of the large window in his office, watching the morning rain fall on Washington, D.C. The drops hit the glass hard, making small rivers that ran down to the bottom. He had been waiting for this day for 3 months. Today, he would finally get the official message from the Galactic Council. His assistant knocked on the door and walked in with a small silver device. "Captain Morrison, the message arrived," she said, placing the translator on his desk. Jake picked it up and pressed the blue button on top. A voice spoke in perfect English, though it sounded strange and musical. "Greetings, Captain Morrison. Of Earth, the Galactic Council has decided to offer membership to your species. We have watched your people for many years. You have shown that humans are ready to join the galactic community." Jake smiled widely. This was the moment humanity had dreamed about since they first discovered they were not alone in the universe. The voice continued. "The Council requests that Earth send 2 representatives to our station. These individuals should represent the typical capabilities and lifestyle of your species. The meeting will take place in 6 weeks. We look forward to welcoming humanity to the stars." The message ended with a soft beep. Jake immediately called Dr. Lisa Hamilton, who worked at the Smithsonian Institute. Lisa was one of the smartest people he knew, and she had spent years studying the few alien artifacts that had been found on Earth. "Lisa, you need to sit down," Jake said when she answered her phone. "I am sitting down, Jake. What happened?" "We got the invitation. The Galactic Council wants to meet with us." There was silence on the other end for a few seconds. Then Lisa screamed with joy. "Are you serious? This is really happening?" "It's really happening, and they want us to go. Both of us." Jake and Lisa had been chosen by the Earth Defense Council months ago as the best candidates to represent humanity. Jake had served in the Marines for 12 years before becoming a diplomat. He had traveled to more than 50 countries and could speak 6 languages. Lisa had 3 degrees in biology and had spent her career studying life in extreme environments. Together, they knew more about Earth and its people than almost anyone else. The next 6 weeks passed quickly. Jake and Lisa spent every day preparing for the trip. They studied everything they could find about the 47 alien species that belonged to the Galactic Council. They practiced diplomatic protocols and learned about different alien cultures. Lisa was especially excited about sharing information about Earth. She had prepared a presentation about human society, complete with pictures and videos of daily life on their planet. She wanted to show the aliens that humans were peaceful and friendly. "I think they're going to love hearing about our recreational activities," Lisa told Jake as they packed their bags. "I have great footage of people hiking, swimming, and playing sports. It shows how much we enjoy nature and staying healthy." Jake agreed. He had prepared his own materials about human history and culture. He wanted to emphasize that while humans had fought wars in the past, they had learned to live in peace. He planned to talk about how humans enjoyed simple pleasures like good food, spending time with family, and exploring the outdoors. The day of departure finally arrived. Jake and Lisa boarded the human spaceship called the Wanderer. It was not the biggest ship in Earth's fleet, but it was fast and comfortable. The journey to the Council Station would take 3 weeks. During the long trip through space, Jake and Lisa spent most of their time reviewing their presentation materials. They wanted everything to be perfect. This was humanity's chance to make a good first impression on the galactic community. "I still can't believe this is really happening," Lisa said one evening as they sat in the ship's common room, looking out at the stars. "Just think, in a few weeks, we'll be talking to beings from other worlds." "I keep wondering what they'll think of us," Jake replied. "I hope they understand that we're just normal people trying to do our best," Lisa laughed. "What's not to understand? We're showing them exactly what human life is like. The good food we eat, the games we play, the beautiful places we live. I think they'll see that Earth is a wonderful place, and that humans are a species worth knowing. As the Wanderer got closer to the council station, Jake and Lisa received more messages from their alien hosts. The messages were always polite, but Jake noticed something strange. The aliens kept asking if humans needed any special equipment or protection during their visit. Do you think there's something dangerous about the station? Jake asked Lisa after receiving the fifth message asking about their environmental needs. I don't think so, Lisa replied. They probably just want to make sure we're comfortable. Different species probably have different needs. We breathe oxygen, and they might breathe something else. It makes sense that they'd want to check. The messages also asked detailed questions about human biology and capabilities. How much gravity could humans handle? What temperatures were comfortable? How much radiation could humans survive? Jake and Lisa answered honestly, explaining that humans were pretty adaptable and could handle a wide range of conditions. Finally, the day arrived. The Wanderer approached the council station, which was enormous. It looked like a small city floating in space, with hundreds of different sections and docking bays. Ships of all shapes and sizes were coming and going constantly. Welcome to Council Station Prime, came a voice over the radio. This is Ambassador Zeph 4 of the Cathari Collective. I will be your guide during your visit. We are honored to finally meet representatives of humanity. As their ship docked, Jake and Lisa gathered their presentation materials and prepared to make history. They had no idea that their simple, honest descriptions of life on Earth were about to terrify every alien species in the galaxy. Jake and Lisa stepped off their ship and onto the council station for the first time. The docking bay was huge, with a ceiling so high they could barely see it. Strange music played softly in the background, and the air smelled like flowers mixed with something they couldn't identify. Ambassador Zeph 4 was waiting for them. The alien looked like a tall crystal sculpture that could walk and talk. Light moved through its body in slow waves, changing from blue to purple to green. When it spoke, its voice sounded like wind chimes. Welcome, humans Jake Morrison and Lisa Hamilton, Zeph 4 said. We are very excited to meet you. Are you comfortable? Do you need any protective equipment? Special breathing apparatus? Gravity adjustment devices? Jake and Lisa looked at each other and smiled. No, thank you, Lisa said. We feel great. This is wonderful. Zeph 4's lights flickered rapidly. You are certain? The station environment will not harm you? Not at all, Jake replied. This feels just like home. Maybe a little warmer, but that's nice. The crystal being led them through long corridors filled with other aliens. Some looked like giant insects, others like floating jellyfish, and some like walking plants. All of them stopped to stare at the humans as they passed. Jake and Lisa waved and smiled, trying to be friendly. They arrived at the Grand Assembly Hall, where the introduction ceremony would take place. The room was enormous, with seats arranged in circles that went up to the ceiling. Representatives from 47 different species filled the space. The noise was incredible, with dozens of different languages being spoken at once. Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all classifications, announced a voice that seemed to come from everywhere at once. We present to you the first representatives of the species known as humans from the planet called Earth. The room fell silent as Jake and Lisa walked to the center. They had practiced this moment many times, but actually being here felt like a dream. Lisa spoke first. Thank you for welcoming us to the galactic community. We are honored to be here and excited to learn about all of your worlds and cultures. Jake stepped forward. We hope to show you that humans are a peaceful species who value friendship and cooperation. We look forward to working together for the good of all. The ceremony continued with formal greetings from various species. Then came the reception, where Jake and Lisa would have casual conversations with different alien representatives. This was their chance to make personal connections and show the humans were friendly and normal. A group of aquatic beings approached them first. They moved in floating tanks filled with green liquid. One of them spoke through a translation device. "We are curious about your home world's climate. Our research indicates it has extreme temperature variations." "Oh yes," Lisa said cheerfully. "Earth has wonderful weather diversity. I love going for morning runs when it's 20 degrees below freezing. The cold air really wakes you up. And swimming in the ocean in winter is so refreshing. The water is almost freezing, but it makes you feel so alive." The aquatic being's tank water suddenly turned dark red. They moved away quickly without saying another word. A delegation of insect-like creatures came next. They walked on 6 legs and had large compound eyes that reflected rainbow colors. "Tell us about your physical activities," one of them clicked. In a high voice, Jake smiled widely. "We love spending time outdoors. Last weekend, I climbed a small mountain only about 14,000 feet high. The view was amazing. I also enjoy camping in the desert. You have to watch out for rattlesnakes and scorpions, but they usually leave you alone if you don't bother them." One of the insect beings fell over. The others helped it up and carried it away, making distressed buzzing sounds. Lisa noticed a group of small, furry creatures watching them nervously. She walked over to introduce herself. "Hi there. I'm Lisa. What's your planet like?" The creatures huddled together. One of them spoke in a tiny, squeaky voice. "Our world has very gentle conditions. Low gravity, soft breezes, no dangerous animals." "What about your world?" "Earth is wonderful," Lisa said. "We have such diverse environments. Huge mountains, deep oceans, hot deserts, frozen polar regions. The gravity keeps us strong and healthy. And we share our world with so many amazing creatures. Bears, lions, sharks, wolves. They're all beautiful in their own way." The furry creatures made high-pitched screaming sounds and ran away as fast as their little legs could carry them. Jake was talking to a group of tall, thin beings who looked like they were made of smoke. "Human recreation is very important to our culture," he was saying. "We love sports like football, where teams of large men run into each other at high speed. Boxing is popular too, where 2 people hit each other until one falls down. And we have martial arts, where people learn hundreds of ways to defend themselves using just their hands and feet." The smoke beings began to fade until they were almost invisible. They drifted away without saying goodbye. As the evening continued, Jake and Lisa noticed that the reception was getting quieter. Fewer aliens were approaching them, and those who did seemed nervous. Many kept their distance, watching the humans from across the room. "Are we doing something wrong?" Lisa whispered to Jake. Everyone seemed so worried. "I don't know," Jake whispered back. "Maybe they're just shy. Different cultures, you know." Ambassador Zeph-4 approached them. Its crystal body was now glowing. A deep amber color, which Jake and Lisa thought looked pretty, though they didn't know it meant the alien was extremely stressed. "How are you enjoying the reception?" Zeph-4 asked, its voice sounding strained. "It's wonderful," Lisa said. "Everyone is so interesting. We've been sharing stories about life on Earth. I think people are really curious about human culture." "Yes," Zeph-4 said slowly. "Very curious indeed. Perhaps we should prepare for tomorrow's formal presentation. You must be tired from your journey." As they walked back to their guest quarters, Jake and Lisa felt good about their first day. They had met dozens of alien species and shared information about human life. Sure, some of the aliens had seemed a bit overwhelmed, but that was probably normal. After all, this was the first time any of them had met humans. They had no idea that emergency meetings were being held throughout the station. Alien representatives were calling their home worlds, warning them about the terrifying creatures that had just joined the galactic community. The beings from Earth, they reported, were even more dangerous than anyone had imagined. But Jake and Lisa slept peacefully, dreaming about tomorrow's presentation and all the wonderful things they would share about their beautiful home planet. The next morning, Jake and Lisa woke up excited about their big presentation. They had spent weeks preparing their slideshow about human recreational activities. They wanted to show the council that humans were a peaceful, fun-loving species who enjoyed simple pleasures. "Today is the day," Lisa said as she checked their presentation materials one more time. "I can't wait to show them how much humans love spending time together and enjoying nature." Jake nodded as he adjusted his tie. "The skiing footage is going to be great. And wait until they see the videos of kids playing at the beach. They'll understand that humans are just a happy, normal species." They walked to the Grand Assembly Hall, which was packed with representatives from all 47 member species. The room buzzed with conversation in dozens of different languages. Jake and Lisa noticed that many aliens were sitting much farther away than they had the day before, but they figured the aliens just wanted better views of the presentation. "Ambassador." Zeph 4 introduced them with a voice that shook slightly. "Distinguished members of the Council, we present the formal introduction of humanity, as delivered by their chosen representatives." Lisa stepped forward with a bright smile. "Thank you all for this wonderful opportunity. Today, we want to share with you how humans spend their free time. We believe that recreational activities show the true spirit of a species." She pressed a button, and the first image appeared on the huge screen behind her. It showed a human skiing down a steep mountain slope at high speed. "This is skiing," Lisa explained cheerfully. "Humans strap long pieces of wood or metal to their feet and throw themselves down mountains. The steeper and more dangerous the mountain, the more fun it is. Families do this together on weekends. Even small children participate." In the audience, several aliens made choking sounds. A delegation of bird-like creatures fell off their perches. The next image showed a person jumping off a cliff with a colorful parachute. "This is skydiving," Lisa continued. "Humans climb to great heights and then jump off, falling toward the ground at incredible speeds. They pull a cord at the last moment to slow down. Some people do this every weekend for relaxation." A group of floating jellyfish-like beings began flashing bright red, which was their species' way of showing extreme panic. Jake took over the presentation. "Now let's look at water sports, which are very popular among humans." The screen showed surfers riding enormous waves that towered over them like moving mountains. "Surfing is when humans stand on small boards and ride giant walls of water," Jake explained proudly. "The bigger and more dangerous the wave, the more exciting it is. Some of these waves are 40 feet tall. Humans consider this relaxing." Several aquatic species in the audience began making gurgling sounds of distress. The next video showed humans swimming in cages, surrounded by large sharks with rows of sharp teeth. "This is shark diving," Jake said with enthusiasm. "Humans get in metal cages and lower themselves into water filled with apex predators. The sharks are huge and could easily bite through the cage, but humans find this thrilling. It's becoming very popular for birthday parties, especially for children." 3 different alien delegations fainted at the same time. Lisa returned to the presentation. Free diving is another favorite human water activity. The screen showed a human diving deep into dark water without any breathing equipment. Humans hold their breath and swim down hundreds of feet below the surface, where the pressure could crush most beings. They do this just to see how deep they can go. The image changed to show rock climbing. A human was hanging from a cliff face, using only their hands and feet, with no ropes or safety equipment. "This is free solo climbing," Lisa said happily. Humans climb straight up cliff faces with nothing but their bare hands. If they fall, they die, but humans say this makes the experience more meaningful. Some humans do this for meditation. A crystalline being in the front row, cracked down the middle. Jake showed the next slide, which featured marathon running. Humans also enjoy running extremely long distances. This shows our marathon, where humans run over 26 miles without stopping. Some humans do this every day just to stay healthy. The image changed to show people running through mud, over walls, and under barbed wire. This is an obstacle course race, Jake explained. Humans create the most dangerous and difficult path possible and run through it for fun. They crawl under sharp wire, jump over fire, and swim through ice-cold mud. The more painful and exhausting it is, the more humans enjoy it. Lisa took over again. Now let's look at extreme weather recreation. The screen showed humans camping in a blizzard with snow piled up around their small tents. Humans love camping in harsh conditions, she said. This shows winter camping, where humans sleep outside in freezing temperatures just for the experience. Some humans prefer camping during storms because they say it's more exciting. The next image showed people running across hot desert sand while the sun blazed overhead. Desert running is when humans run across burning sand in extreme heat, Lisa continued. The temperature can reach over 100 degrees, but humans find this challenging and fun. Jake showed footage of people climbing frozen waterfalls using ice picks and ropes. Ice climbing is very popular in cold regions, he said. Humans climb up frozen waterfalls using sharp metal tools. If the ice breaks, they fall onto rocks below. Children as young as 10 years old participate in ice climbing. The final part of their presentation showed various extreme sports. People jumping off bridges attached to elastic ropes, riding bicycles off cliffs, and racing cars at hundreds of miles per hour. All of these activities show the peaceful, recreational nature of humanity, Lisa concluded. We believe that taking risks and facing danger together brings families and communities closer. These activities teach our children courage and help adults relax after work. Jake nodded. As you can see, humans are a species that values excitement, challenge, and spending time in nature. We hope this gives you a good understanding of our culture and values. They looked out at the audience expectantly, waiting for questions or applause. Instead, they saw absolute silence. Half the seats were now empty. Many aliens had left during the presentation. Those who remained were huddled as far from the humans as possible. Ambassador Zeph4's crystal body had turned completely black, which Jake and Lisa thought looked very elegant. They had no idea it meant the alien was experiencing the equivalent of a nervous breakdown. Are there any questions about human recreational activities? Lisa asked brightly. The silence continued for a long, uncomfortable moment. Finally, a small, squeaky voice from the back called out, "Do any humans survive these activities?" "Oh, yes," Jake replied cheerfully. "Most of the time. That's what makes them fun." The remaining aliens began filing out of the hall in what looked suspiciously like panic. After most of the aliens had left the assembly hall, Ambassador Zeph4 approached Jake and Lisa. The crystal being's body was still completely black, but it was trying to maintain diplomatic politeness. That was a very informative presentation, Zeph4 said, its voice shaking like broken glass. The council has decided to hold a question and answer session. Perhaps we could learn more about human daily life. Jake and Lisa exchanged happy looks. That sounds wonderful, Lisa said. We love talking about Earth and human culture. The remaining aliens slowly returned to their seats, though they sat much farther back than before. Many wore what appeared to be protective equipment, and several had brought medical attendants with them. A tall, Thin alien that looked like a walking stick spoke first. We would like to know about human nutrition. What do your people consume for sustenance? Lisa's face lit up. Oh, humans have such a diverse and interesting diet. We're omnivores, which means we eat both plants and animals. We love variety in our food. She paused, thinking about how to best explain human cuisine. For example, we enjoy fermented foods like cheese, which we make by adding beneficial bacteria to milk and letting it rot for months. Some of our favorite cheeses have green and blue, mold growing all through them. The smellier and more moldy, the better it tastes. Several plant-like aliens began wilting visibly. We also love preserved meats, Jake added helpfully. We hang meat in the air for weeks until it dries out, or we bury it in salt and chemicals. Some humans enjoy century eggs, which are eggs buried in mud and chemicals for months until they turn black and smell terrible. An alien that looked like a giant flower closed all its petals and fell over. What about beverages? Asked a nervous voice from the back of the room. Jake smiled proudly. Humans have created many wonderful drinks. Our most popular is alcohol, which is essentially a poison that we drink for fun. We make it by letting fruit or grain rot until it produces toxic chemicals. Then we drink it until our brains stop working properly. He gestured enthusiastically as he continued. Getting drunk is a major social activity. Humans gather in groups and drink poison together until they can't walk straight or speak clearly. We call this having a good time. Lisa nodded. We also love very hot drinks that would burn the mouths of most species. Coffee and tea are served at temperatures that could scald. And we enjoy frozen drinks that are so cold they cause brain freeze, which is a sharp pain in our heads. Humans consider brain freeze amusing rather than alarming. A delegation of ice-based beings made horrified, crackling sounds and rolled away from the area. The next question came from a group of insect-like creatures who were hiding behind a protective barrier. How do humans resolve conflicts? Do you have peaceful methods? Oh yes, Jake said with enthusiasm. Humans love peaceful competitive sports. Take boxing, for example. Two humans get in a ring and hit each other in the head repeatedly until one of them falls down and can't get up. Thousands of people watch this for entertainment. He showed a video on his portable device. This is wrestling, where humans try to pin each other to the ground using strength and technique. And we have mixed martial arts, where people learn hundreds of different ways to disable opponents using only their bodies. Lisa joined in. These are considered children's activities too. We start training kids in fighting techniques when they're very young. We call it character building. Schools have wrestling teams and boxing clubs. Even our gentler sports involve some level of combat, Jake continued. In football, large humans run into each other at high speed, trying to knock each other down. In hockey, they hit a small disc with sticks while skating on ice, and fighting is actually part of the rules. The insect being's protective barrier began smoking from their panicked pheromone releases. A small, furry creature managed to squeak out the next question. What about pain? How do humans handle physical discomfort? Lisa thought this was a great opportunity to show human resilience. Humans have evolved remarkable pain tolerance. We actually seek out painful experiences for entertainment and personal growth. She pulled up images on her device. Many humans enjoy getting tattoos, where we stick needles into our skin thousands of times to inject permanent dye. The more painful the location, like over bones or joints, the more meaningful humans consider the tattoo. Jake nodded. We also have pain-based recreation, like hot sauce competitions, where humans eat food so spicy they cause physical agony. People compete to see who can endure the most pain while eating. Winners are celebrated as heroes. Body piercing is another popular activity, Lisa continued. Humans voluntarily push metal objects through their skin and leave them there permanently. Ears, noses, tongues, and other body parts are commonly pierced. Some humans pierce dozens of locations on their bodies. She showed more images. We also enjoy extreme heat and cold exposure. Saunas heat rooms to temperatures that would cook most species, and humans sit in them until they're dripping with sweat. Then they often jump into ice-cold water immediately. Afterward, pain tolerance training is common too, Jake added. Humans practice activities specifically designed to increase their ability to ignore injury and discomfort. We consider this mental discipline. The furry creature that had asked the question was now completely hidden under its own fur, making muffled, whimpering sounds. A desperate voice called out from somewhere in the rapidly emptying hall. Do humans have any activities that don't involve mortal danger or physical suffering? Jake and Lisa looked at each other, thinking hard. Well, Lisa said slowly, we enjoy reading books about people facing mortal danger and physical suffering. And we watch movies about the same things. Humans call these stories exciting and entertaining. We also like games, Jake added helpfully. Board games where players try to destroy each other's armies. Video games where we simulate combat and survival scenarios. And sports where we compete to defeat opponents. Even our music often tells stories about pain, loss, conflict, and overcoming impossible odds, Lisa continued. Humans find these themes inspiring and emotionally satisfying. By this point, only a handful of aliens remained in the hall, and they were all wearing full protective suits while hiding behind barriers. Ambassador Zeph-4 was completely motionless, its crystal body now so dark it seemed to absorb light. Any other questions? Jake asked cheerfully, looking around at the nearly empty room. The remaining aliens were too terrified to speak. They huddled together in the far corner, making various sounds of distress in their native languages. Jake and Lisa stood on the stage, confused by the reaction, but still hopeful that they were building good relationships with their new galactic neighbors. After the question and answer session ended with most aliens fleeing the hall, the council called an emergency recess. Jake and Lisa were escorted to a waiting room, while the remaining delegates held urgent discussions in private. I think that went really well, Lisa said as they sat in comfortable chairs, looking out at the stars through a large window. Everyone seemed very interested in human culture. Jake nodded, though he looked a bit confused. I'm just not sure why so many people left early. Maybe they had other meetings to attend. Or maybe they were so excited they wanted to go tell their friends about us right away, Lisa suggested optimistically. They waited for 3 hours before Ambassador Zeph-4 finally came to see them. The crystal being's body had changed from black to a deep red color, and it was moving very slowly. 2 other aliens accompanied it, staying far behind and wearing what looked like protective armor. Jake Morrison and Lisa Hamilton of Earth, Zeph-4, said in a voice that sounded like it was coming from very far away. The council has reached a decision regarding humanity's membership application. Wonderful, Jake said, standing up with a big smile. We're so excited to hear what you've decided. Zeph-4 paused for a long moment. Before we announce the decision, I must inform you of something important. The council has been researching your home world since we first made contact with humanity. That makes sense, Lisa said. We've been studying all of your worlds, too. Your planet Earth has been classified as a Class 12 death world, Zeph-4 continued. This is the highest danger rating possible. In all our records, we have never encountered a planet more hostile to life. Jake and Lisa looked at each other in confusion. I think there might be some mistake, Jake said. Earth is actually very nice. It's a garden world with beautiful weather and lots of different environments. Zeph-4's red color deepened. Your world has gravity that would crush most known species. Your atmosphere contains a gas that would burn the lungs of 43 of our member races. Your oceans are filled with creatures that our databases classify as impossible predators. You mean fish? Lisa asked, genuinely puzzled. Your fish include animals with hundreds of razor-sharp teeth that can bite through metal, HFY replied. Your land animals include creatures that weigh several tons and can run faster than our fastest vehicles. Your insects inject deadly poisons. Your plants produce toxins that could kill thousands of our people. Jake was starting to understand. I think you might be looking at the dangerous stuff and forgetting about all the nice parts of Earth. Nice parts? HFY's voice cracked like breaking glass. You described your recreational activities. According to our analysis, every single thing you call fun would result in immediate death for any member species of this council. Lisa finally began to realize what was happening. Wait, you think the things we do for fun are dangerous? Skiing involves moving at speeds that would instantly kill most beings if they crashed. Your skydiving requires falling from heights that would be fatal. Your swimming takes place in water, cold enough to stop our hearts in seconds. But those are just normal activities, Jake protested. Kids do them. Your children, HFY said, regularly participate in activities that we would use to execute prisoners. Your adults consume poisons for entertainment. Your elderly people climb mountains that reach into space. The truth was finally sinking in for Jake and Lisa. What they considered a pleasant, normal life was actually a daily survival nightmare from the perspective of every other known species in the galaxy. The Council also reviewed your history. HFY continued. Your species survived an ice age that covered most of your planet in frozen death. You lived through asteroid impacts that would sterilize other worlds. You evolved from predators so successful that you had to invent new challenges. To keep yourselves occupied, Lisa sat down heavily. So when we were describing human life, you were describing the most terrifying existence imaginable to every species in this room, HFY finished. Most of our members now believe that humans are either mythical superbeings or the universe's most successful predators. Jake ran his hands through his hair. But we're peaceful. We just want to be friends and explore the galaxy together. Yes, HFY said. That is perhaps the most terrifying thing of all. A species capable of surviving on a Class 12 death world, treating mortal danger as recreation, consuming poisons for fun, and enduring pain as entertainment, claims to be peaceful. The implications are disturbing. There was a long silence as Jake and Lisa absorbed this information. Finally, Lisa asked, So what's the Council's decision? HFY's crystal body flickered between red and amber. The Council has voted to grant humanity membership, but with special conditions that have never been used before. What kind of conditions? Jake asked nervously. First, humans will be restricted to specially reinforced sections of all Council stations and ships. Second, human recreational activities may not be described in detail to other species without prior warning. Third, all humans must undergo cultural sensitivity, training to learn how to interact with normal life forms without causing panic. ZEPH-4 paused, then continued. Fourth, Earth will be designated as a quarantine world. Other species may only visit with special permission and full protective equipment. Fifth, humans who wish to travel to other worlds must pass psychological evaluations to ensure they understand that their normal behavior is considered terrifying. Lisa couldn't help but laugh. So we're too scary to be allowed around other aliens? In summary, yes, HFY replied. However, the Council recognizes that humans could be valuable allies. Your ability to survive in impossible conditions and treat deadly situations as entertainment makes you potentially useful for exploring dangerous regions of space that no other species could survive. Jake shook his head in disbelief. "We came here hoping to make friends and join a peaceful galactic community." "And you have succeeded," Zeph4 said. "You are now members of the Council. You will simply be the members that everyone else is afraid of." As they prepared to return to Earth, Jake and Lisa realized that their simple, honest presentation had established humanity's reputation for the rest of galactic history. They were no longer just another species joining the Council. They were the Deathworlders who considered survival training a fun family activity. The Council implemented new procedures for evaluating species from dangerous worlds. Jake and Lisa were invited to help develop the Extreme Species Integration Protocol, guidelines for safely interacting with beings who considered lethal environments to be pleasant vacation spots. When they arrived back on Earth, they were celebrated as heroes who had successfully gained humanity admission to the galactic community. They were also quietly reassigned to positions where they couldn't accidentally start interstellar incidents by casually mentioning that humans enjoy activities like volcano surfing or tornado chasing. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would humanity's reputation as the friendly neighbors, who happened to be the most terrifying species anyone had ever encountered.